Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, smash a like on the video as well. It really does help me. The videos at the moment are flying after I finish the lives. They're racking up views. We're racking up subscribers. It is sensational. There are loads of you here already, which is always good to see. Pekka was first here over an hour ago. You've got to respect the grind. Jakob, Francis, John, Creeper, Fizzy, Emilio, Saka number 7, George Christodoulou, Carter Sampson, Philip, Ultra Pro Gamer, Zerka, that's probably not how you pronounce that, Thomas Willis, Verdi, Smithy, Luke, Philip, Ross Lawman finally made it to the stream on holiday down under, 6:30 a.m. here. Gotta go hard. I've got to respect it. What an absolute legend. I hope you're enjoying it down under. Devin, Ethan Udall, A16, Magnus, Saliba, Jack Sachs, Hannah, VV Vlad, Drax, Max, Shush, Bradley, and Alex. I mean, it's just unreal that, literally, a month ago when I came back, if I started reading the people that were here at the start of the stream, it would be me and maybe Ross Lawman. But it's unreal that all of you turn up so early. And there's lots to talk about today. Even though there's not much going on, well, there's nothing going on the pitch. There's quite a lot going off the pitch. Tomiyasu's new contract, we'll talk about that. Arsenal leading the race for Victor Gyökeres. Murillo, there is legitimate interest in Murillo. And more stuff on Ben White coming from Gareth Southgate. Well, not from Gareth Southgate, but confirming that Gareth Southgate is a liar. Amazing James, $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Says, finally I made it. Well, there you go. Welcome, and thank you very much for the $2 super chat. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot. Francisco Oliveira's here as well. Ross Lawman says the weather... Thomas Willis says, Ross Lawman, the weather was beautiful today. Yeah, the weather... I'll tell you what. Today, we reached highs of 17 degrees Celsius. It is beginning to pick up a little bit, which is decent. Murillo, is he left-footed or right-footed? Left-footed. Left-footed is Murillo. Neuer out injured, ducking the Arsenal test. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. 2 injuries today to Bayern Munich players. One potentially significant in Manuel Neuer. One less significant, in my opinion, in Sasha Boye. But, not ideal for them either way. Tomiyasu here to stay. Defensive depth is insane. Yeah, so look, we'll start off on the Tomiyasu news. That was the news first thing this morning. Arsenal released a nice little video announcing the contract extension of Tomiyasu. And look, he deserves it, I think, in terms of the ability that he's shown. There are obvious concerns with Tomiyasu and his fitness, and we all know that those concerns exist. But his contract compared to Ben White's kind of shows that Arsenal are aware of that, and it's a sensible contract. Tomiyasu's contract only runs until... It's a new contract, right? Most new contracts are normally like 4 years. His is only until 2026. It's effectively 2 years, and then there's an option to extend it by a year. In comparison, Ben White's is until 2028. And so that kind of shows you what Arsenal think of Tomiyasu at the moment, which is he's good enough that if he stays fit, he's absolutely worth the money that we've got him on, and we've kept his transfer value where it should be. Obviously, you don't want to get into that situation where a player's only got a year left and then they start thinking about running down the contract. It puts you in a weak negotiating position. But effectively now, we've got a year. We've got next season, well, the end of this season and then next season, for Tomiyasu to prove that he can stay fit consistently. And if he can't do that, we sell him. And he'll still have that transfer value because he'll still have a year left plus an option to extend. So I think it's a good deal. I think it's a really good deal. I think it's sensible. And we are at the point where, realistically, this squad is still not the finished article. We have renewed a lot of contracts in the last 12 to 18 months. Saliba, Gabriel, we did Ramsdale, Ben White, Tomiyasu. Obviously, players like Declan Rice is new. We did Saka. We basically done all of the big players. And you get to a point where, you run out of players to extend. And so if you put everyone on 4-year contracts, you end up in a sticky situation. So I think it's a really sensible contract for Tomiyasu. It is basically the same as the length of contract that we gave Ramsdale, which makes me think maybe actually we are probably thinking, look, get him in for another, we've got him for one more season and then sell him next summer, potentially. I don't know. But if, in all honesty, I would love to be proven wrong when it comes to his fitness. You know, I do worry that his fitness will never be something that he can get right and that he can stay fit for a long period of time if he's starting games. Completely hope I'm wrong. Completely hope in a year's time he's had an unbelievable season where he's been fit throughout it. He's been called upon at right back, at left back, at centre back, and we go, extend it by another 2 years because we want him here. But you never know. You just never know. Tomiyasu will contend for Kivior. Tomiyasu kind of contends with everyone. Tomiyasu is of pretty much all of our defenders, bar Zinchenko, can play most of the way across the back line. Tomiyasu is probably the one that is most versatile in terms of I genuinely couldn't tell. I think he looks better at left back than right back. Some people think he looks better at right back. For Japan, he plays as a centre back. He really can do it all. So, loving the new poster in the background. Oh yeah, I forgot to put that up. Yeah, I got a. That was sent to me by a company actually. So shout out to them. In Sweden, we pronounce Gyökeres like Gyökeres. So am I meant to say Gyökeres? Let me know if that's right. Your name sounds like you know what you're talking about here. So I'm Jacob Olofsson. I'm gonna back that you know it better than me. Gyökeres? Gyökeres. I don't know why that sounds wrong. It's like I'm calling him a jerk. I don't know. But if that's right, I will go with it. Leo, you've not missed much. We're just talking about Tomiyasu's new contract. And how long it is. 114 viewers in 5 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Legends. I think it's more like Gyökeres. Oh, we've got some debates. Well, apparently it's not even a Swedish name. It's Hungarian. He's Hungarian originally. Like Gyro? Euro? I don't know. Is Nketiah up for sale in the summer? Yeah, probably. I would imagine Nketiah will be up for sale. There's been some reports that Arsenal or teams that are looking at Nketiah include the likes of Wolves, I think Brentford, Crystal Palace. They're the sorts of teams that you're probably going to expect him to go to because he could go to those teams and start. And I think Nketiah is at a point in his career he's got to go somewhere and start games. You know, or at least be closer to the starting lineup than he is at Arsenal, you know? Yeah, the name is not of Swedish origin. No, it's not of Swedish origin. Just call him Victor. Yeah, I should just call him Victor, really. Vicky G. We'll call him Vicky. No, Vicky G is awful. That sounds awful. Not going to do that. Gyökeres, as in how they say Jose. Oh, so Gyökeres. Oh, God, this is going all over the place. Gyökeres. It can't be Gyökeres. I don't know. Botman ACL, so many of the season. Yeah, Sven Botman, ACL injury. Another ACL injury in the Premier League. The thing is, with Botman, he basically already had done his ACL. They decided not to do surgery on it. They let him rest it. They've been giving him injections for it. And yeah, now it's fully torn. Which is just bad management. By the way, interesting thing as well, Casemiro had a bad hamstring injury earlier in the season, which was when he was out for quite a while. He came back, he felt his hamstring a little bit again, got assessed by the Manchester United medics, which, by the way, their lead medic now is Gary O'Driscoll, who was our medic that they took from us. Gary O'Driscoll's team told him nothing to worry about. You can carry on. But he decided, no, I really don't think that. I think there's something wrong. He flew himself, or he flew to Barcelona, or he flew a doctor from Barcelona to him, who confirmed that there was damage there and that it was an injury and that he needed to have to rest it. Gary O'Driscoll, I'm telling you now, Gary O'Driscoll was a problem at our club, and now he's a problem at Man United. Because think about the amount of consistent injuries we had of players redoing the same injury. Tomiyasu with his calf, Zinchenko with his calf, Thomas Partey, Emil Smith-Rowe. I'm telling you now, that guy is a problem. He's an absolute and I'm glad he's not our problem anymore. He's Man United's problem. But there is a consistent theme of him basically telling players, "Nah, you're all right," and then it turns out that they do have a reoccurrence of a previous injury. He's a problem. He is a problem. Do you think we can get Musiala? And if we get him, can he and Erdegaard play together? Yeah, him and Ødegaard could definitely play together. Ødegaard will play deeper. Only in certain games would it work, but it could definitely work. I don't know if we get him. That's the issue. I'll tell you what, though. There's a lot of players at Bayern at the moment that could be up for grabs. Musiala's one of them. Leroy Sané's contract ends next season, at the end of next season. So he's basically only got a year left at the start of this summer. Joshua Kimmich is one of them. Yeah, there's some decent players we could get. Wouldn't mind getting Solanke. Nah, not for me. Solanke's not at the level for me. He's been good this season, but he's not at the level for me. When do we find out if we got tickets through the ballot for Bayern? It'll either be Friday, which I don't think it will, meaning I think it'll be next Monday. The ballot for Aston Villa got drawn today, and that ballot was the weekend before. So yeah, it'll be. I think it'll be the start of next week that we'll find out. To be honest, Davies too. They seem to be struggling to extend contracts. Yeah, Davies as well. I think Davies is going to go to Real Madrid, but people saying they wouldn't have Kimmich. Yeah, I would take Kimmich. I didn't actually realize. So Kimmich is the one that's been playing at right back for them in the last few games, and they've looked better. He's been playing at right back for them, and they've looked better. They've looked better for it. And that leads me on to the point about Bayern. So yeah, Sasha Bowie, whatever his name is, the guy that moved from Galatasaray to Bayern Munich, he's got quite a bad, I think it was a hamstring injury. So he's going to be out probably for that fixture. People were making a bit of a deal of that today. I don't think it's that big of a deal. He hasn't been starting games for them. When he has started for them, they've not looked very good, and they look better with Joshua Kimmich. The only difference it makes is that, for example, if Goretzka gets booked in the first leg, he'll be suspended for the second leg. If that happens, I think they would normally move Kimmich into the midfield and put Bowie at right back. They won't be able to do that. But that's a minor injury. One that could be bigger is Manuel Neuer, who left Germany training today with an abductor injury. Depending on how bad that is, if he was to miss the Arsenal game, that would be big for them. The drop down from Neuer to Ulreich is not good. What about Mazraoui? Well, Mazraoui just hasn't really been playing for them much. I don't know if he's injured, but from what I could tell, yeah, he's not really played all that much for them. Kimmich at right back helps Pavlovic play well because he's been playing really well. Yeah, it looks like the way that they've been performing the best is Kimmich at right back and then Goretzka and Pavlovic in the midfield. But we'll see. We'll see. Look, the fewer options they've got, the better, I suppose. News on Saka. He was training alone with England. Yeah, Saka was training alone with England or doing separate indoor training. I think so was Harry Kane. So were a couple of other players. It's I think this happens quite a lot. The first session or two of international training, some players will do their own routines if they needed to work on anything sort of from their club. So I don't think there's anything to read into that. If he had any sort of injury of significance, he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't be there. He'd be back at Arsenal. So I don't think it's too bad. O'Driscoll sounds like Jeff Shreves on the sideline on FIFA when a player breaks his leg. And he says, yeah. I can't remember what the phrase is now. He looks okay, but he should be good. He's a tough cookie. He should be okay to carry on. Why is Arteta so bad at getting young players game time? Good question. I don't think he is. I think Arteta's now getting compared to when he started and he was giving game time to players like Saka and Martinelli, and B, he's getting compared to the likes of United, Chelsea, even to an extent Liverpool, who are just competing in a different way. I think he should be getting compared to Pep and City. And Pep and City do not play youngsters. The sorts of youngsters that we've currently got, Pep doesn't have them playing games at City. If you're looking at players like Nwaneri, no one that young plays at City. If you're looking at players like Miles Lewis-Skelly, again, no one that young. And if they are, they've already got a heap of experience under their belt. When people compare, like, us not playing our youngsters to Pep bringing on Oscar Bob, it's completely different. Like, Oscar Bob is 20 years old. He is a fully fledged Norwegian international. It's Yeah, it's just not the same. And also I think people forget, like, you kind of go through cycles with academies, right? You go through cycles, and I mean that's a great point. Anyway, half of our team are youngsters. Half of our team would be considered youngsters, right? So if you start bringing through even more youngsters, there's just not a lot of room for it. But the other thing is, like, we just don't have that many. The reality is our academy needs to catch up. Like, as much as we love Hale End and we've loved the Hale Enders that have come through, the academy needs to catch up. And we are now putting more money into the academy to make sure that we can try and do that. But probably the best midfielder that's come through the academy in the last 3, 4, 5 years is Charlie Patino. He's not good. He's just not. That's harsh. He is good, but he's not Declan Rice. He's not. It's just the way the academy goes. And at some point, you might get one crop where 3 players come through the same age group, and all of them get into the team. But realistically, Saka is a freak. Like Saka is a generational academy product. You will get one Saka every 10 years if you're lucky. So the fact that Saka came through at the same sort of time, and you look at Eddie. Eddie hasn't made it, and he's been given every opportunity. The Eddie that we now have wouldn't even get a sniff in the Arsenal team. The only reason Eddie had a sniff was because of the team that we were, when he was getting game time over players like Lacazette. So if those level of players aren't getting through, then I just don't think that there's many opportunities. And you are looking at someone like Nwaneri, where, Man City wanted him, and we've had to offer him a lot of money. You're looking at players like that are going to be the next ones that break through. And that's fine. That's just, it doesn't really matter. If you want to compete. We have just hit 200 viewers. Unbelievable again. Smashing the 200 barrier. You're absolute legends. And if you could subscribe and smash a like on the video whilst you're here, I would be incredibly grateful. If you can hit the like button. I don't know why it helps, because you're only liking it because I'm really asking you to do it, but it does help. YouTube's old algorithm. So that's much appreciated. My shopping list for the summer would be Douglas Luiz, Musiala, and Diomande. Yeah, I mean, all 3 of them I'd be very happy with. All 3 of them I'd be happy with. I think you're missing a striker off that list, but on Bayern's website, it says Mazraoui and Koeman are back in training. Yeah, okay, so Mazraoui was injured. I didn't realize that. That explains that. You're pushing 8.5k subscribers too? I know. We only hit 8k, last week? Unbelievable. I really, really do appreciate the support. Actually, interestingly, that just jogged my memory. Talking about Nwaneri, Miles Lewis Skelly, apparently, and I'll see if I can actually find this because I saw it earlier. Miles Lewis Skelly is being Miles Lewis Skelly, they actually see him potentially. This came from Simon Collins, so this is a very good source. Simon Collins is a very good source. He says senior coaching staff at Arsenal think Miles Lewis Skelly could become a left back in the mold of Alexander Zinchenko. So they're looking at Miles Lewis Skelly actually not being a central midfielder, but being a left back that ends up kind of morphing into that inverted role that Zinchenko's been doing. And I think that would be, I see it. I've not really seen Miles Lewis Skelly's defending ability, but I'm all here for it. Although, if that's another left back, we have an obscene number of left backs at the club at that point, and that would also mean definitely getting rid of Zinchenko. Why are Brazil at Colney? Because Brazil, it's England against Brazil on the weekend. So they're in London anyway. So they're training at Colney, which is cool. Rory, what shirt is that? This is Hereford FC, my local, well, not my local anymore, but where I grew up, the mighty Hereford FC. That could explain why Lionel Sousa was sold in January. Yeah, it would. It would explain. There's no room for if you're molding Miles Lewis Skelly as the left back. There's no room for him and Lionel Sousa. Why wasn't he in the England under-17 squad? I think he's injured. I actually think he's currently carrying an injury. He was definitely injured. Last time there was a potential for him to be in an Arsenal squad. I remember seeing that he was injured. Wouldn't it be more like phasing Zinchenko out when he gets old? Yeah, possibly, but I'm just looking at the number of players that we have that, you've got Timber, Tomiyasu, Kivior, Zinchenko, presumably we sell Tierney and Tavares, but then you've got Miles Lewis-Skelly coming through as well. That's a lot of sort of depth in that left back position. How does an American fan get a ticket to a game? I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure there's a different way for foreign fans to get tickets, because I can't imagine it's the same way that we get them. That wouldn't make much sense. I remember when you said on stream, if Zinni doesn't play in the Bayern game, what kind of game does he play in? He didn't play that game. In the Bayern game? We haven't played Bayern yet. Do you mean the Porto game? Why would we shift Miles instead of developing Sousa? Well, presumably they see Miles as being the bigger talent. That the only thing I can assume. Lino Sousa was older. And they might have just felt that he was never going to be the one that was going to progress. And so, whilst we've still got Zinchenko and we've still got a lot of left backs, it could just be that Miles Lewis-Skelly is the better option long term. Some rumours on Twitter that we're looking at Sudakov from Shakhtar. I did see that. Yeah, we are looking at Sudakov from Shakhtar. I'd be surprised if we went back and dealt with Shakhtar, in all honesty. I would be surprised. Would you be okay if Poole won the league just so you could use Jota in the 9-9 challenge? I would rather Arsenal won the league and Jota ruins my day many more times in the future than Liverpool won the league, but Jota counts in the Premier League, to be fair. I'd want Kai Havertz to reply to Muller, but I don't want it to backfire either. Yeah, I think Kai Havertz did reply slightly. He did reply slightly, but it was nothing... it was nothing over the top. Anyway, some other bits of news, right? Arsenal. This came out last night after we finished the stream, and I was buzzing for it. So this is coming from CM Journal, which is like a Portuguese outlet. They're a bit of a... It's not like a really good source because it's just a big outlet that runs a lot of different stories. But according to them, and they are Portuguese, so it's at least based in the right country. According to them, Arsenal are now leading the race for Victor Gyökeres. The Gunners would be willing to reach his €100 million release clause. Now, is this me getting way carried away about a rubbish source because it suits my agenda? Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. But look, it's just more coal onto the steam train. It is more coal onto the fire. The steam train is picking up pace. And I'll cherish those words. I will cherish those sources. As a Portuguese, they are a bad source. We don't want that negativity, Francisco. We don't want... Look, sometimes they've got to get it right. Yeah, good news is reliable news. That is how we go. No way 100 million. It's 100 million euros, so it's 85 million pounds. 85 million pounds. The Gyökeres train is going to crash soon. It's going to go... Yeah, well, we might go off the rails, yeah. I just don't want us to go off the rails because someone else sweeps in and buys him. Exactly. There you go. Well corrected. They are great. The other news that I think this came out whilst we were on stream, but Arsenal are among the teams monitoring Nottingham Forest's Murillo. Forest will face a battle to retain the centre-back as they fear SPR breaches. Now, a lot of these teams, by the way, are going to have to sell players before the 30th of June. So the way it works with the profit and sustainability rules, it's on a 3-year... Every 3 years is monitored. So the fine that Nottingham Forest just got was from 2020-2021 to 2022-23. Those 3 seasons. If they want to avoid getting more points deductions next season, they have to get out of the red by the 30th of June, because that's when the next year starts. So they're in that position. Newcastle are in that position. Chelsea are in that position. Potentially Wolves and Everton are in that position. And so, no, it doesn't reset every 3 years, but it shifts by a year, right? So it's based on your profit and loss over a 3-year period, but you're evaluated every year. So Everton have been done once already this year, which would have been for the 19-20, 2021, and 21-22. So that for that 3-year gap, they then failed in the following year still to get out of the red. So the next fine they're going to get will be for 2021, 21-22, 22-23. And then again, they're in danger if they don't sort it out of getting it for the next one. So lots of teams are in that position, and it's going to be kind of carnage before the 30th of June because the Euros is going to be happening or about to happen. Apparently, they don't want. So, like the FA will not allow any English player to leave camp to be involved in medicals or anything like that for a potential transfer. So, Chelsea are looking at Conor Gallagher, who they need to sell before the 30th of June. And the FA are going, well, if he's in the England squad, it will have to be done before he even goes to the England squad. It's going to be carnage. It's going to be carnage. There are going to be discounts. There are going to be bargains to be had. And I want us to be involved in that. Whether that is Murillo from Nottingham Forest, whether that's potentially Bruno G or Isaac from Newcastle, I want us to be involved in those. All of these points deductions and appeals aren't a great look on the Premier League. I agree. It's not a good look for the Premier League, especially when it happens this late in the season. Yeah, I don't like it. The fact that we're like, okay, so now Nottingham Forest are in the relegation zone out of nowhere, but then can you LJ, tranquilo. LJ, that is your one and only warning. Do not spam. Thank you very much. I'll give him one chance. To not spam again. Otherwise, he's gone. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying now. That's taking my trail of thought. But yeah, I want us to be involved in those conversations. I do. Would you take Gallagher? Nah, not for me. I don't mind Gallagher, but I wouldn't take him. Will you be watching Sweden-Portugal tomorrow, especially Gyökeres? I will. I'll be at least trying to watch the highlights of it. Yeah, for sure. I'm really glad Arsenal didn't risk signing Raya on a permanent deal last summer with the FFP concerns for us. Yeah, exactly. Arsenal have been sensible with it. We have been sensible with it. It will also mean, though, and this is where the balance comes in, right? Because, so as much as Chelsea need to sell before the 30th of June, and those clubs need to sell before the 30th of June, other clubs might not be able to buy before the 30th of June for the same reason that we couldn't buy in January, because that will still be in that year's block. So we were in trouble, which is why we couldn't sign Raya permanently, and we couldn't sign anyone in January. So we might still be in that having that issue before the 30th of June. After the 30th of June, we've then got that extra year, the Champions League revenue that we've got, and then we can spend again. So there's going to be this weird dynamic before June 30th where it is. We've just hit 250 viewers, by the way. Incredible. You're absolute legends. But yeah, there's going to be this weird dynamic where you've got clubs that are going to be seeing value for money in the market, but going, we can't do this until June 30th. But the clubs that are trying to sell are going to be going, well, we can only sell you this player for this amount before June 30th. Otherwise, there's no point. So it is going to be interesting. And if there are clubs that have held back a bit of budget, held back a bit of budget before June 30th, then they could get some bargains. They really could. We have Kivior. Do we need another left-footed centre-back? Yeah, I think so. Well, it depends. I don't know. It's one of those where he could just be good value in the market. It depends if long-term, if Arsenal see Kivior as being good enough. I think he's been really good at left-back. We're still yet really to see if Kivior can hack it as the left centre-back alongside Saliba, against top opposition over a long period of time. Less competition, cheaper sales. Yeah. And that makes sense why we signed Havertz in June last year and signed Rice in July. Love Edu and Arteta. Yeah, exactly. People don't realize this. Havertz got signed before that June deadline, probably because we had, 70 odd million that we could spend before June. Rice got signed after it, because that opened up another year worth of. There's a lot that goes on. There is a lot that goes on the books, the numbers. And there are some very well-paid accountants that figure all of this stuff out. How much do you think Murillo would be in the summer? I don't really know. I think that's an interesting one. I wouldn't want to pay any more than 35 million. To be honest with you, I wouldn't want to pay any more than 35 million. Apparently, Everton want like 60 to 70 million for Branthwaite. I think that's too much. you know, if you start looking at 60, 70 million for a centre back, you're getting into the realms of like Van Dijk territory in terms of value. And at that point, they've got to be bang on. You know, Branthwaite needs to come in and be your next Saliba if you're spending that sort of money on them. And I think the depth of the centre back market is big enough that centre backs just shouldn't be going for that much money. So yeah, Murillo, 35 million is probably where I'd cap it, around 35. Why not Lewis Miley from Newcastle? Maybe they sell him. I mean, they'd make raw profit on it, so it would make sense for them to sell him the same way that Chelsea want to sell Conor Gallagher. But I don't know if Lewis Miley's good enough. I know he was impressive for Newcastle, but I don't know if he's good enough. On FOTMob, it's 20 million-ish. FOTMob updates quite slowly when it comes to transfer values, to be fair. There's absolutely no way Musiala is up for sale. He really is what Saka is for Arsenal. Possibly. I don't know, to be fair. I don't really know Bayern Munich in that situation well enough. What's your summer transfer shopping list? For me, Gyökeres, I think Douglas Luiz is the midfield option that I'd go for. Hato from Ajax, a winger, and then another goalkeeper. They'd be the ones that I would go for. Aaron is in the building. Welcome, Aaron. It is good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Bruno G would be an unbelievable signing. I've got a feeling do you know what? I've got a feeling both Bruno G and Paqueta are going to go to Man City this summer. I think Man City are going to go big on a bit of a rebuild in that midfield. And I think they're going to get both Paqueta and Bruno G. And it's going to be big for them. Max, welcome. Late to the party, but happy to be back. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Neuer injury. Yeah, Neuer pulled out of Germany, the German camp today with an adductor injury. I still think too soon for Hato. We should sign him in 2 years. The issue with that is in 2 years' time, he might have already made the big move. Like, you've got to balance it. You've got to balance identifying the talent and then getting them early enough. It is tricky, right? It is tricky to know when to pull the trigger and make those signings. City will definitely get Bruno G or João Neves. Yeah, probably. Why Gyökeres over someone like Isaac or Osimhen? So they're two different ones. Gyökeres and Isaac are very close for me. Very close. And literally the only thing that splits them in my mind is the injury history. Gyökeres is 25 years old. He's played 300 senior games. He's never been injured. Isaac regularly gets injured. So that's the only difference with them. And then for Osimhen, for me, I think he's too expensive. And I'm genuinely not sure that he's... I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've just never seen Osimhen in an Arsenal shirt. I don't know what it is. Hato can still be HG if he moves this summer, similar to how Saliba moved. Yeah, exactly. We can loan Hato out. We can buy him and then loan him if we need to. Hang on. The dog's trying to get out. Hang on. Go on, then. Off you go. Sorry about that. The dog wanted to get out. Gyökeres feels like a risk. Honestly, whoever we get this summer, it's going to feel like a risk. Whoever we get this summer, we're going to spend a lot of money on them, and it's going to feel like a risk. Osimhen, massive risk for me. In terms of, look at Lukaku. The way that Lukaku can play in Serie A compared to when he came back to the Premier League. Isaac, risk. Tony, risk. They're all risks. Aaron, $5 super chat from Aaron. 240 plus. The growth has been insane. It has been insane. And I appreciate that you're still here. And I do appreciate the $5 super chat. That is much appreciated. You've been a big supporter of this channel. So I'm very grateful for that, Aaron. I hope you're doing well. Where do you think Eze will end up? United or Chelsea? I'd love Eze, but I think he'll end up at United or Chelsea, personally. Can you name 5 players that got bought by big clubs because of international tournaments? James Rodriguez, Enzo Fernandez, Sofian Amrabat, although Amrabat's they didn't buy him, they got him on loan. Ospina. Or did we buy Ospina straight after the World Cup or not? Can't remember. And I don't know who else. I can't think off the top of my head. But there have been a lot of them. Rory, you've truly started the Gyökeres train all across Twitter. Yeah, listen. I lead, they follow. No, that's not true. But to be fair, I was on Timber way before anyone else was on Twitter as well. It's just the way we do it. It's just the way we do it. I don't necessarily think Gyökeres is as big as a risk of others because we can slowly integrate him into the squad. Well, that's the flip side of it, right? The flip side is that actually none of them are going to be a huge risk because we've already got Kai Havertz and we've got Jesus. So in that sense, we're not going to spend, 80 to 100 million on someone and they have to immediately start every game. It's not like, for example, Højlund at Manchester United, where basically if he's fit, he's had to start. He's had no time to learn and integrate. So it's a bit of both. Tips for football content creation. Just be consistent with it. That like it's cliche. Be consistent with it. I was consistent on YouTube and then I stopped and I shouldn't have stopped and I regret stopping, but I did. And now we're back and the numbers are back and the numbers are growing. Same with TikTok, same with Instagram. It's just consistency really. And just be enthusiastic. Like realistically, I see a lot of people make content and I'm like, they don't actually look like it's what they want to be doing. It's like they think they want to be a football content creator, but they don't actually want to be it, if that makes sense. If you're not enjoying it, just stop. The only reason that I do it is because I enjoy it, If you didn't stop, how many subs do you reckon you would be on? Oh, I've got no idea. Maybe not many more. Maybe I needed the break. I don't know. But we're back now and we're not going anywhere. I mean, now we've got honestly, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're going to be missing out because now we've got end of the season carnage, right? For once we come back after the international break, 14 games in 49 days, right? The channel is going to be absolutely flying. We're not even going to have chance to have conversations like this because it's literally going to be like one day we'll be reviewing the match from the day before, the next day we'll be reviewing the match that's the day after. It's going to be non-stop. Then season finishes, transfer window opens, Euros starts, and then Euros ends, and then it's the end of the transfer window. We go on pre-season, and the season's starting again. It's going to be unbelievable. And we are not stopping at any point. The consistency will remain. Don't forget Guess the Gooner. Oh, Guess the Gooner. I need to do Guess the Gooner in a minute. I do. Euros will be mental. It will. And Copa America, by the way. Copa America's this summer as well. People seem to forget about that. But especially with our squad, we've got some people to keep an eye on when it comes to the Copa America as well. SS9, good to see you. Are you streaming the Brighton game? Yeah, I will be. It'll be on Tifo, though. I'll do a watch-along for it, but it'll be on Tifo. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards. It's not Jakub Kivior. Do you think we can replicate the Trossard Havertz dynamic we used earlier with Gyökeres? I do. This is one of the main reasons I prefer Gyökeres to some of the other strikers. I think his link-up play is a lot better. I think his all-round play, his creativity is a lot better. Okay, clue number 1. This player is 39 years old. Clue number 2, they joined Arsenal in 2012. Clue number 3, they have 29 goals in 180 games. 29 goals in 180 games. Clue number 4, they are a 2-times winner of the Euros. And clue number 5, they scored Arsenal's first goal in the FA Cup final versus Hull City. Names were absolutely flying by in the chat then, but I've got a feeling it was a familiar face that may have won. I'm going to check. We don't want any more VAR checks after yesterday. In fact, I'm just as well I did do a VAR check. Okay. So, I can't even tell if these people guessed before I even gave a clue. So the player is, of course, Santi Cazorla. Sportcat was first, and Adam Roble was second. But they were literally they were like the first guesses. Did you guess them without me even giving a clue? Anyway, Sportcat was first, so congratulations to Sportcat. Sportcat's won it. Adam, gutted that he's come second, because if he guessed that off the rip without a clue either and didn't even win, that's brutal. But Sportcat won. And then it came down to, and this was where I was then, because I actually thought, VV Vlad came third, but I thought he'd won it. I didn't realize some people had already guessed it. So VV Vlad was third. Carter was fourth. And well, who was fifth? And Ajani was fifth. There you go. Ajani was fifth. Did you guys guess that before I did the clues? No way. I guessed it before any clues. Wow. There you go. There you go. That's impressive. That is impressive. He's guessed it before any clues. 2 people guessed it before you gave the clues. That's so strange. I'm paranoid that I somehow put up. I didn't share the screen, did I? I didn't share the screen, did I? He was in the news. That's what gave it. Oh, yeah, he was in the news today. That's why. Was he in the news? What was he in the news for? I don't know, but fair play. Adam's had the worst luck going because he guessed it right without any clues and still didn't win. That is absolutely brutal. Did I see Cazorla in the news today? Is that why I thought of him? Read you like a book. Yeah, I know, but I must have like subconsciously read about Cazorla today. No, Adam just said some random player. There was no thought behind it for Adam. This is spooky. This is spooky. I mean, we're clearly all just on a, well, not all of us, but some of us are clearly just on a wavelength here. You know, this is what happens when you watch every night. We just end up on the same wavelength. But there you go. There you go. Congratulations to Sportcat. Anyway, it's time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I will give you the full career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. You have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right gets the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as Sportcat has. There was a video. There was. I saw him sell 2 defenders. That's what it was yesterday. I saw a clip of Cazorla sending two defenders to the shops yesterday. Unbelievable. How often are the lives on this channel? Every night. Every night. 6:30. Every night. Pretty much every night. Unless there's like a game on, or to be fair, this weekend, actually, there's not going to be, I don't think there's going to be one on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday because I have to go back for a funeral. But outside of that, they are normally 6:30 every night. Anyway, this player started their career at Sheffield United. They started their career at Sheffield United. They went on loan to Northampton. They then moved permanently to Tottenham Hotspur. They went on loan to Sheffield United. They went on loan to QPR. They went on loan to Aston Villa. And they moved permanently to Man City. So Sheffield United, loan to Northampton, moved to Spurs, loan to Sheffield United, loan to QPR, loan to Aston Villa, and then moved permanently to Manchester City. Who got it first? We'll go further up than I need to, just to make sure that there is no VAR checks required. Lots of you, I think, were just taking random guesses up there. So we'll come down. And the first person to get it correct was Shush. Shush. That's what he's telling the rest of you. He's just won. He's telling you to shush. Carl Walker was the correct answer. Shush got it first. George got it second. George Christodoulou got it third. SS9 got it fourth. And Francisco Oliveira got it fifth. So there you go. Congratulations to Shush. I believe that's Shush's first win of any kind in this. Now I'm convinced the guy in the chat said it before any clues. I haven't missed someone that said it before any clues, have I? No, I don't think so. But congratulations to Shush. Shush said it before any clues? No, I don't think he can have done. But congratulations anyway. Congratulations either way. Guessed it after Sheffield. Yeah, that's decent. That is a decent guess. Carter is still guessing. It's over, Carter. I'm going to have to go early. Have a great evening. Will do. Thank you very much. I've been robbed of a top 5. Emilio wants a VAR check for top 5. No, unfortunately, on my screen, Emilio, you were 5th, 6th, 7th. You were 8th. You were 8th. David Dodsworth was 6th. Saka number 7 was 7th, and you were just below that in 8th. Unfortunately, the internet has done you in. When do we find out about the Bayern ballot? Don't know for certain. I think it'll either be on Friday or Monday. I think it'll be Friday or Monday. Do you think the sanctions that were placed on Chelsea count for extenuating circumstances, i.e., Chelsea can push the windows to the end of July instead? No, I don't think they will. Chelsea are in so much trouble. Chelsea have got trouble coming at them from all angles because it's not just the current PSR issue they've got. It's not just the current profit and sustainability issue that they've got, right? Which is a big issue for them because the amount they've spent under the new regime. They've also got a load of old stuff that's being dug up. Apparently, there's going to be a legal requirement that they have to unearth old transactions, old things that happened under Abramovich that are not going to look good for the club. So they've got that going on, and they've got the profit and sustainability. They are in trouble. They are in a lot of trouble across the board. Again, I saw a few things today about like, I feel like they keep putting out these articles. Like there was another article today of, Man City could face expulsion from the Premier League if they're found guilty. And it's like, since it came out that they had 115 charges, every 3 months or so, you'll hear Man City could be expelled from the Premier League and nothing happens. It's just the same recycle thing. And it works people up again. And then nothing actually happens. Are you a positive fan? Yeah, I'm a positive fan. Will you do a watch along of the game against Man City? I will. The watch along of the City game will be on Tifo as well. There will be links in the chat for when I do that. Chelsea can push the sales back to July 30th. They did it with Mount. It just means the following season they'll have less money from sales for the books. I don't think this season they can. I honestly, I don't think this season they can. I think they could last season because of the sale. I don't think they can this season. I still can't believe I guess Santa Cazorla without any clues. I need an extra reward. You get an extra round of applause. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream for today. Massive, massive thank you to everyone that joined. We hit over 250 live viewers, which is ridiculous. The growth is insane. Please do subscribe, smash a like on the video before you jump off. It really, really does help me. But other than that, have a fantastic evening. We are well over halfway through the week. It's Thursday tomorrow, which is basically the weekend. I'll be back at 6:30 tomorrow evening. But until then, goodbye.